Welcome to the Excel Purpose Show with Karms. Today we have with us Estee Neoh. So excited, confidence coach, focused on personal development. Welcome, Estee.
Thank you, Karms. Thank you for having me.
I'm very excited because you're one of the people that are very young that I come to know, and you move at a pace I haven't seen people move in a while. So I really want to dive in and dig into your brain, and I'm sure we can help a lot of people that's at your age wanting to move at the pace that you are. So ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Good. Tell me a little bit about your background. Where do you come from? What did you study?
Yeah, so I'm actually from Malaysia, born and bred there. And then after finishing high school, I decided to study culinary. And then I did dive further into patisserie. So I've been working as a chef for a few years. And then after that, I decided to further my studies. And I was thinking like, what should I study? I wanted to do something that is perhaps related back to my F&B background. And I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe hotel management will work. So I studied hotel management and then discovered some new subjects. And so one of it was revenue management. So I decided to pursue my career further in revenue management in hotels specifically. And after my graduation, I had the opportunity to come to Australia to work for a few years. So now here I am in
How
Australia.
did that opportunity come about? Like, people would love to come overseas. You know, a lot of people like to try and come to, whether that's Australia, US, some other countries, right? Like to get that experience. How did that come about for you?
Yeah, so basically what I studied was in, supposedly the university is in Australia, but then I was doing this twinning program, so 6 months in China and then supposedly another 2 years in Australia. But COVID hit at the point of time. I'm not able to come into Australia to do my studies physically. So I did everything online. And my first time coming into Australia, interestingly, was during my graduation. During that time,
Wow.
yeah. And during that time, a lot of my online classmates and also lecturers, they were saying that, you know what, you should come into Australia to, experience living here and work here since you will have the opportunity to come here to work because we are entitled for that 2 years post-study visa.
So when was that?
That was in 2022.
Wow. Okay, so you've only been in the country for 2 years. How do you find Australia?
Yeah, I mean, I really like it. And I can see that I've changed so much since I came here, and even my parents were saying the same. I can see that I have changed in terms of my confidence. I'm more open and more, uh, I would say, open to speaking up my mind and also be less fear of other people's judgment.
You know, when I think of Malaysia,
Mhm.
there's a big part that's kind of, I notice it's a little bit not as developed. Prices of things were a lot cheaper because when I went to buy like a bubble tea, uh, for the people that don't know, they're like these Asian teas with these like sugary, gluteny thing, gel ball things. But they were like 1/3 of the price, the same shop, you know, under the same brand. And so I'm like, oh wow, the cost of living is a lot lower here. Um, but then it must mean people actually earn a lot less as well. How did you feel going from that transition? Did that feel like a lot to you from a both culture and general living?
Yeah, I would say so because just for those who didn't know, so the currency exchange rate for Australia dollar to Malaysia ringgit, it's 1 to 3. So $1 in Australia, it's $3 in 3 ringgit in Malaysia. So even though the prices, the like cost of living, it seems to be low, but then the salary itself is also low as well, incomparable to what Australia has to offer.
Yeah, so then when you're earning a wage here, do you feel like comparatively back to your friends and stuff, do you feel like, oh, okay, I'm in a much higher position now, or how do you feel? Or is it kind of the same because it's like the cost of living is also then it feels expensive in Australia?
I would say relatively the same, but
Okay.
of course there is certain advantage in terms of when you maybe travel or do currency exchange. There's certain advantage, but other than that, cost of living, I would say pretty much, because what you earn here is probably 3 times more, but then the cost of living is also three
It's also
times.
expensive. Yeah, especially here in Sydney we are in. So okay, tell me about how your confidence shifted. Because I do know a lot of, I actually have a lot of Malaysian friends that have either trained with me or I got to know them in similar type of capacity in like training rooms usually. And I have noticed their mindset is they're very diligent. They love doing things. What I have found, like the pattern is that they love doing things to what they taught, very textbook like. Um, but then they found it hard to break out of their confidence still. And yet I see you move differently. How did you break out and gain more confidence in this short amount of time?
I guess moving to Australia is the catalyst to that, because just like what I mentioned previously, like in Malaysia, I feel that fear of judgment. And
You don't get that here?
no,
Can
no,
you explain that? Because I think Asians have that fear of judgment a lot more than, yeah, Caucasian people.
yeah. I don't know why, but for me personally, I felt like it's because I was living with my family, with my parents, and then like I grew up with the friends that I've known since what primary school. Like
Mm.
they are there around my life forever. And then if I do something that is different, they'll be like asking, why are you doing this? And why? Like, why would you do that? So it's like those fear of those comments and those judgments that the people that are very close to me that will be giving will cause me to be afraid to do something that is different. Like I was just sharing recently one of my video that I just recorded.
Yeah.
I was just sharing that in Malaysia our high school uniform is this bright blue color. I'm not sure if you've seen that before. It's a bright blue
What
color.
do you mean? Like, as in everyone has the same color?
Yeah, everyone has the same color. So basically it's probably this blue, slightly a little bit darker, but yes, it's very bright. And imagine the whole dress is this color.
Yeah.
And then so there was this one time when I finished school, and then my dad came to pick me up from school. So he was deciding to bring me to the food court center for dinner before heading back home. So I was saying that no, I'm not going down from the car to the food court because I'm wearing this color.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the attention in the food court.
Yeah.
So I rather spend like 30 minutes sitting in the car, yeah, and let my dad have his own dinner in the food court while waiting for him.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's that fear of how people look at you, the way they look at you, the way they, judge.
Is it in your head or is it like actually people outside will like, their gaze follow you?
I believe it's in my head, but then at the same time, when you grew up in that environment of when you already know that people will talk about things, it's already etched into, it's already anchored into your confidence or your inner feeling.
You made a good point. So it means that when people want to really grow, it's important to actually step out of your environment. It's like actually the easiest thing. I found that as well.
Hmm.
Because people have no preconception of who you are or what you do. So you kind of get this blank slate of like people can't judge you because they have nothing on you. So
Yeah,
so then you can kind of like reinvent yourself and do whatever you want, right?
yeah. That's so true. And that's what I did when I first moved here. Because when I moved here, I literally don't know anyone. The only person that I know is my HR from my company. That's it.
That's amazing. Sydney, I would say, is one of the harder city to make friends. How did you make friends? Or how did you make connections here? Because I'm sure people would love tips on how to how to do that.
Yeah, I guess I learned it the hard way here. So when I moved here, I wanted to make friends, and I would say maybe I crave for friendship, or people that I can hang out with. So I tried to attend classes. Of course, those classes, I one part is to learn like dancing. Try to dancing is one of the things that I always wanted to do when I was back in Malaysia, but I've never got the chance to do that because again, fear of judgment, and why would you do dancing?
Yeah.
So when I moved here, I decided to take up dance class, but at the same time, it's trying to make friends as well. But then I realized that people just say hi and bye. When you go to dance
Yeah.
class, they just say hi, and they are very friendly with you in class, even if you exchange contact numbers. But after that, it's like when you text them, no reply. And if you ask them out, it's like, no, I'm busy with that. A lot of other commitments or priorities
Yeah.
and you will
And
never.
it's probably not personal, probably genuinely is like that
Yeah,
with, yeah.
probably they have their family or kids and things like that. So I found that it's not really a good way to find friends in
Okay,
class.
so classes are not a good way then. Oh, so what is a good way?
I guess you need to keep trying because
Okay.
out of so many classes, you might have found one or two people that are willing to be your friend.
Yeah.
So I guess for example, I think early this year I also attended this public speaking boot camp, which I get to know you as well.
Yeah,
So I guess there's
exactly.
a group of people that has this same goal to want to speak confidently and share their story. From there, of course we don't oftenly hang out, but then there were like one or two people that I'm pretty close with. So we also hang out during our own time, which I think the point is to keep trying. Yes, when you attend classes or when you attend some workshop, most of the people will not be your friend. Most of them will not keep in touch with you. But then there are really small amount of people that will turn to be your friend.
I love that. The actually being the person that is proactive, and when you say keep trying, I feel like we should break this down. What are we talking about? How do people keep trying? Because I know this kind of stuff we say it vaguely, right? But for the people that really don't know, I think they want to know the actual nitty gritty to actually execute on that. So are we talking about just text, just try again, text people, but don't feel rejected if
Hmm.
people don't respond? Is it texting? Do you call people, or how do you text? What do you actually even write? Because I think we can start even there.
Okay. For me, I don't do calls because I'm just afraid that I will, mess up their.
I noticed that younger generation, or even nowadays, no matter what age, most people don't seem to like calling, unless they're like my parents' era, they probably call. But yeah, anything like people in their 20s, 30s, 40s probably don't really call.
Yeah.
Um, so now what? Just texting?
Yeah, texting. And then the prime time, I would say the prime
Prime
time
time, yeah. That's
is
good.
right
Good reference.
after the class or event or the night,
Oh,
the evening of the thing.
when's it still fresh?
Yes.
When
when
the
he,
excitement's still
when
there.
he or she still remembers you.
How do you make an impression so people remember you? Is there any special thing?
No, of course, during the class or during the event or workshop, you must already have that connection. You talk to them, you introduce yourself, and then when you go back in the evening, you'll be like, "Hey, for example, like, hey Sarah, um, I met you in this event. I'm ST. Nice to meet you. I would like to, keep in touch. Would you like to hang out sometime?" And then straight away secure a date.
I love this. This is very practical and it's very simple, and that would work. I am sure if someone sent me that message, I would
Mhm.
say yes. Um, yeah, of course. Like that's provided you get, like I would have given them the contact. That's why they could text me, right? So if they wrote that, I would definitely be interested. And I do agree with you that you have to do it immediately. Because like a week later, it's like, or a month later, it's like I've forgotten. I do have people that reach us out like much later, or some people that just says hi. It's like, who is that? Like hi with no context. Yeah. So I like that you said, yeah, name, location, what it was. So then at least the memory is triggered back to when you met them.
Yeah.
Good tips.
I think most importantly is to secure the next meetup.
Yes. In
So
a close
it can
time.
be like 1 month away, but that's fine as long
Mm.
as you secure the date.
On the calendar. Yes. Very important. Do not miss that point. Yeah. Okay. So what I know that you love personal, that's how we connected, right? Personal development and leveling up of confidence.
Mhm.
So many people aren't into personal development, especially at such a young age, SD. Um, how did you get into personal development and why should people get excited about that? Having a slight technical difficulty, I
Yes.
think SD
Now we're
froze for a
back
bit.
on.
Okay, we got her back.
Yeah.
All right. So I was just asking you, personal development, that's something that most people don't really dig into, especially at such a young age. And the people that do usually comes at later in their life. What's gotten to get you to dive into personal development, be excited about it, and want to teach others, share the message? Where did that come from?
I guess that it's the change that I've seen in myself. So it's been about 2 years plus now that I've moved to Australia. And I guess like early this year, I started to see myself change. And after again attending those public speaking boot camp and things like that.
What made you
And the
go to them initially, though? Is that what
uh,
kicked off your personal development journey, or was it?
yeah, I would say so. I would say that's the main reason for that. But yeah, what makes me decided to go to the boot camp was because in the beginning of the year, I did get a review from my workplace and saying that, I need to be more outspoken, be more confident. And then again, my job will be a little bit more related to presenting slides, information, influence, top management. So I was thinking like I need to do something, I need to do something to help me be more confident and change the way I speak to them. So I don't know how there was this one day I was like just scrolling on my Facebook and this ad pop up and it says free half day workshop. And I'm like, okay, not bad. Free. I mean, it's free, and
Yeah,
then
no
it's on
risk.
the weekend, and I could make it. So I went to attend the event myself. And during the event, they did share a little bit of tips and tricks of how do you do presentation, how do you where and how do you speak, how do you look at people, things like that. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. This can be really helpful for my career. So I decided to join the bootcamp, the
Yeah,
3 year
so
bootcamp.
useful tips up front. For the people that's like running business want to, it's like, okay, offer a free thing, provide
Yeah.
useful information up front. So and that's the way to go. It feels like that does work. That's a good formula.
Yeah.
So now that you have these things under your belt, what are three tips you can give people that can raise their confidence? If they feel like they don't have confidence, what is the actual practical steps? The first three that they can go out and do.
But I think the first one is to remove your own negative self-talk. Because a lot of time, I'm not sure if you realize that a lot of people keep belittle themselves. Like, I can't do this. Like, who am I to do this? It's those thoughts that keep, weighing yourself down.
How
So
should
I
we talk to
think,
ourselves instead? Okay, so we go, okay, you're so stupid, you like can't do anything. Like, so we're doing the belittling.
yeah,
What
yeah,
should they do when they notice it?
like, okay, oh, this is new. Let me try this. And then,
Mm.
yeah, if let's say you don't do like 100% perfectly, but but then it's your first time doing it and it's fine,
So
right?
be
So
talk to yourself in an encouraging tone.
yeah. I guess this is also your inner self work, right? You need
Yes.
to make sure that you're always positive on things. I realize a lot of people, and especially a lot of people, I would say, a lot of negativity around them.
Mm.
But for me, I guess I'm lucky that I'm always a positive person. So I think of things on like I always see the good in things, even though like something bad happened, but then I try to find the good in things. But a lot of people emphasize and even magnify the bad.
I do agree with you. How did you focus on the positive? Have you always been that type of person, or did you actively work on that?
No, I've always been that positive person. That's why I'm saying I'm glad that I grew up this way, and it's in my own self. So yeah. So
Is
that's
that
why I
because your family, your upbringing is quite positive? Do your parents
probably
talk to you in of a positive language, like
no.
encouraging language? Because a lot of Asian culture isn't. I think that's where a lot of that belittling language comes from in our head.
Yeah,
Culturally, like that's what we do.
yeah. Culturally, if let's say comparing to a normal Asian family, probably I would say my upbringing is more positive. There's no scolding or beating or things like that happening. But
Yeah.
yeah, but my mom will always say like, oh, she will always break down the thought process of how I make a decision and if things happen, and then so what did you learn? And it kind of made me reflect since young, I believe.
Really?
Yeah,
That's very
yeah,
positive. She actually asked you, what did you learn? Nice.
yeah.
That's
So
good
it's like,
parenting. Yeah.
but of course, there will be times that she will be like, "Oh, see, this happened." but then, but then at the end of the day, she will then recap back to what did you learn at the end of the day.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. So I guess that's the difference between me and other people, which I think is one of my strength of seeing the positive.
It just
Yeah.
goes to show that's like, for parents that might be listening, it's like it could just take
Mm.
something like that. And it really changes the outlook of your kids growing up.
Yeah.
That's really special. I'm glad you
Yeah.
had that experience. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So what's tip number two?
Tip number two, I think it's just mute away other people's comment or opinion. You I would say you cherry pick them.
Mm.
So of course a lot of people will give their own feedback, their own opinion and things like that. But does all of those opinion matter to you?
How
Not
do you
necessarily.
select them? How do you cherry pick them?
I guess this one it took me quite a while to learn it this way. Because I'm easily affected emotionally. So if people say something bad about my work, I'm like, I did not do a good job and it feels bad and I'll be like really down for the remaining of the day. Yeah. And which I realize it's really bad for my mental health as well. Like, why am I so affected by just one comment of this person made? And then this one little comment will then smash your confidence or break your confidence in terms of what you have been building in this work that you have been doing, right? So nowadays I learned that I need to just choose like really good feedback that can help in improving my work, and then the rest is just their own opinion. Just leave it aside.
Ooh, yeah, I think a lot of people do take criticism to heart. It is
Hmm.
difficult. So the the learning is to is to just really realize it's just one voice and everyone
Hmm.
have a different opinion. So
Yeah.
what you think of could be a good standard, someone could just even be having a bad day and just took it
Yeah.
out on you, for example. So we're saying, how do we discern which feedback? What was the thing for people? Can you just recap that?
Yeah, just choose those I would say factual feedback.
The
That-
objective feedback, not the subjective one. Right.
yeah,
That's good.
the objective feedback that can help in your work or
Yeah.
help in whatever you are improving. But whatever subjective or opinion wise, if it doesn't resonate with you, then just leave it.
That's a very good point. Yeah, it is the objective thing. So it's like, if someone tells you something it's bad, it's like we should be brave enough to actually ask them, okay, what can I do to improve? Then if they give you a constructive solution on what to
Yeah.
do, it's like, okay, cool. You could take that. You could
Mhm.
do something with that. But if it doesn't come with anything else, it's like, well, that's not helpful. Yeah. All right. Tip number 3.
Tip number 3, I think it's understanding yourself, like knowing your strength and build on that. So for example, recently I took up this personality test. It's called the Clifton Strength, or is it Gallup Clifton Strength? I believe it's called.
Same. Yeah.
So yeah. So I found out that my strength is mainly on relationship building.
Ooh.
So yeah. So from there, I felt a little bit more comfortable about myself approaching strangers and talking to other people. And I realized that the more that I do it, I really enjoy it. And I really enjoy that feeling of, connecting with people right now. But prior to that, I didn't know that I have this strength. I always thought that, I'm more of an executive person, like executing things. But apparently, out of that test, I realized that, oh, okay, I have much more of this relationship building traits compared to executive.
Maybe you
Exec-
executing is the result of being a great connector, because you need
uh,
people to help you on executing. Oh, not all the time, because there's a lot of things we could do on our own. But some of the bigger things, having people on your side do make things happen.
yeah, trying to make that work, especially like in workplace and things like that. You definitely need those relationship building.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like whether people want to get a promotion, doing the interview,
Mhm.
making their work life better. It's all around relationship building, on making sure that workplace is like a happy place, because you're surrounded by your colleagues.
Yeah, that's right. And also like people will always say networking is really important for, your career growth, because the more people that you know, the more easier it is for you to get things around, things like that.
So we know how to approach people in via texting. If you were in a networking situation in real life, like you walk
Yeah.
into one, how should people approach somebody and not feel like rejected, because it's scary to approach?
Oh,
Most
I
people
think
wait for someone to come to them, right?
yeah, that's what I see. Because in my role, I needed to do networking. So basically I work in a hotel. So basically we do have like networking events probably every quarter. And especially now of the this time of the year, it's like almost
Oh
every
yeah,
week.
we're going into networking phase where people are going to their Christmas
Yes.
lunches and stuff. Yep. So they're gonna walk in, they see a pile of people, kind of scary, know some of them, maybe want to talk to someone in another department. How do they go up to someone? What do they say?
I mean, within your own company, that's fine. What's more scary is
Let's do
you.
let's do both scenario. The first scenario is I walk into your own company, and maybe there's someone on the other side that you want to perhaps
Other
find out
department.
more about their department, and maybe an opportunity. Maybe you want to go work in that department. See, for one, how should they approach that? How should they start a conversation with, like, say, a manager on the other side?
Okay. Yeah. For me, I personally will start with let's say I know the name, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's just call her Sarah.
yeah.
So hey Sarah, I've been seeing you in the company for a while. Can I ask which department are you in? If let's say I don't know, or if I know, then I know that you are in, finance department, let's say. So what do you do at your role?
Oh,
And
you
maybe
just talk to them, like find out
yeah,
more about
open
there. Yeah.
Yes, open questions, and then be genuinely interested in what they are doing, because of course, like two different departments, they are doing very different things. You probably know the surface, or about like what they're doing, but then in depth wise you wouldn't know. So let them talk, and then from there try to find mutual topics that and you are interested in, and also she's interested in.
I love
So
that.
you
So yeah, because when you ask an open question, because a lot of people ask close-ended question. It's like, how are you? Good. There's nothing to talk about. But you ask a very open question that allows someone to talk. And whilst they are talking, usually then you'll be able to pick something. You if you're listening to them, you'll be able to find something that you can follow through the conversation on.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, nice. So that's from a work front. Now, the other scenario, and you're thinking this is the scariest scenario. Okay. So you walk in, now it's like strangers. It's like walking into a meetup and there's a bunch of people you don't know. What do you do?
Is this a professional setting, or is this a personal setting?
We'll go for like a young professional kind of, dress smart-ish, maybe holding a beer or a drink, but don't know anyone. What should they do?
Yeah, I recently attended one of these as well. So it's basically my school's, my uni's alumni event.
Oh,
So basically, like, there are faces that I probably see on LinkedIn before, but I maybe know their first name, but then maybe I don't. I'm just like, oh, I think I saw you before in maybe this event, or in the school magazine, or on LinkedIn. I will just relate back to where I
you
see
try to
them.
find a common ground, something you know of.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. And then I'll be like, oh, so your name is this, and so where are you working right now? And then again, going back to that open questions,
Yes.
and then try to find a mutual topic through what
What
they
if it's a
answer.
complete stranger and you don't know them at all? No name, no context, but they seem
Yeah,
like a nice person.
I will be like, hi, I'm Estee, what's your name? And
Oh,
then so
yeah.
he'll be like introducing themselves, and then I'm like, oh, so what do you do? What do you do as for a living, or where do you live? Things like that. So yeah, that gets
You
you
know what I
started.
love? I think in all of these approach, the best thing is like, I think it's your positiveness and your smile. I think smile actually goes a long way. When someone looks like you, smiling, I think that's very inviting. So maybe that's the key to any of these scenario you walk into. Is actually walk in with positive energy, a nice smile. That cannot actually go wrong, I think.
Well, you know what? I really wanted to share this with you. I've been receiving this comment, my smile,
Yeah.
like 3 times this week.
In a wig, same compliment. Yeah. You
Yeah,
definitely
because
know you've got something there.
you know how recently I've been joining this Toastmasters club. So basically it's a place where I can practice my speaking.
Presentation skills, yeah.
So I can be delivering a speech, or I can be doing an impromptu speaking to the questions that they are asking. And then so every speech, or every uh, yeah, basically every speech that we are delivering, we will be evaluated. And then so during the evaluation, I got this feedback as well, my smile and that positive energy that actually bring people more engagement, and people are like willing to listen to what I get to say. So I'm actually surprised that I've got this feedback so many times this week.
Yeah, own it. So I know that you also recently launched a confidence program, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a bit more about that for the people that maybe want to level up on their confidence? And it's like they're like, oh, Estee looks like someone that's can help me.
Yeah, so basically, this program is called Awesome You Project, and it's a 12 weeks program. So currently, I'm previously, if you've seen my social media, I've been sharing about doing a beta program of 4 weeks. So I just recently completed them. In this 12 weeks program, I'll be sharing a lot of reflection, I would say, to be done to find your inner self and eventually to build your confidence. So throughout that process, you will be like, again, some of the things that I mentioned just now, like you don't reframe those negative thoughts, try to reframe into positivity. I guess for me, it's natural for me to do so, but for some people, it's not the same. Because for some people, it's naturally they will go inclined towards those negative thoughts and magnify them. So those reflection will actually help you to, help you to reframe your thoughts, make it more positive, and do some daily affirmation, things like that to start your day. And again, once you find yourself, your inner self, you want to work on your communication. So like the second part will then focus on setting your goals and how you communicate your thoughts to other people. Because you want to be confident enough to express yourself and to be comfortable enough, but at the same time, you don't want to offend other people. So the way of how you speak or how you deliver your message is really important. So yeah. And yeah, that's basically the whole overarching topic of the course.
Ooh,
Find your inner
nice.
self and then work on your communication.
Yes, very good. Okay, so for the people that wants to reach out to you, where's the best way to contact you? Are you on a particular social media platform more than the others?
Mostly I'm on Instagram. Recently I've been like starting to reactivate my Facebook. So Facebook and Instagram will be the best two social media platform. And then if let's say you are keen for some tips on confidence building, I did share like some YouTube videos on YouTube. And then also I do have my own podcast on Spotify. It's called The Unshakable Growth, where for the podcast wise, it's mostly inviting guest speakers to share on their personal development journey. But for YouTube wise, it's basically me talking to the camera, sharing about a little bit of tips in terms of confidence building and personal growth.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So people can be sure to check that out. So if you want to reach out to SD, slide into her DM on IG.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Karms.
Excel in life, live your purpose, be free.